All right, so it is crunch time for Fulton County, Georgia DA Fani Willis, as a judge now is weighing whether to remove her from her own racketeering case against former President Donald Trump and several others because of her personal relationship with the outside prosecutor that she hired to run it. They had great vacations. Now, sources are telling Fox News that the judge will hear testimony from another witness next week before asking both parties to present their final summaries and arguments at another hearing. So, well, then he has to decide, does Willis stay or does she go? Without her on the case, well, the whole thing could be very well falling apart before our eyes. And as we wait for the judge's decision, well, the House of Representatives, they continue their impeachment inquiry of President Biden with testimony from his brother, Jim. Yesterday in D.C., GOP lawmakers, well, telling reporters yesterday that, well, Jim actually contradicted himself and did so with several times in several documents. One source telling Fox News that Jim Biden changed his story during the interview when presented with evidence that outright proved him wrong. His own signature. Anyway, here with full reaction is the co-host of The Five, our good friend, Judge Jeanine Pirro. You know, people don't know this sometimes about you, and I would like to remind them of your background. You were a DA, you were a law and order DA, but you also believed in equal justice and application of our laws. Yeah. Let's talk about the ethics first of Fani Willis. Okay. The idea, this inexperienced guy, $654,000, lavish vacations that I'm sure we both would love to also be invited to.
Look, when it comes to Fani Willis, I have to tell you, first of all, I don't know any DA who's taken 6 vacations in 5 months. Who the heck is running the office? But then again, if you look at crime in Atlanta, Georgia, you get it. But that's another issue. She is in the middle of a scenario where it appears that she benefited as a result of her hiring her lover, that her former best friend, who is no longer her best friend, said she was involved with from 2019, more than 2 years before she's admitting to it. And you know what else is interesting, Sean, is that her father said he knew about all her boyfriends, but he didn't know about Wade. And the reason he didn't know about Wade is because she hid that from everybody. It was a secret. Now, the problem here is if you're giving $650,000 to your lover as a professional in the office to try complicated RICO cases, when the guy's never tried a felony case in his life, there's something that's off. And then when this woman walks into a courtroom, she walked in as though she were the judge, basically threatening everybody. She pointed her fingers at the judge. She yelled at the attorneys and said, "Don't you be cute with me." She was unresponsive. She was contemptuous. She was condescending. I have never seen a more combative witness in my life. And here's the concern, Sean. This judge is supposed to hear from Terrence Bradley in camera. He, of course, is a divorce attorney for her lover. But whether or not any of that information ends up part of the judge's equation as to the truth here, we don't know. But my fear is that this judge is such a wimp, and I'm saying that with all due respect. But I've been a judge, okay, just like he was a judge. I've been a DA. I have never seen a judge buckle like this judge buckled to that woman. And if he is afraid of her, that's a problem. He gave her a contribution to her DA campaign. You know, some people say it's a big deal, maybe not. But the truth is in the fact that in that courtroom, she yelled at him and everyone else, and he was like a wimp, just allowing everything. If it were me, she would have been on the paddy wagon with the other defendants on the way to the county jail, being held in contempt for disrupting my courtroom. Now, as it relates to Jim or Joe Biden, well, you've got a classic situation there. The Bidens say, no, we've never done anything wrong. We've got $24 million that we divvied up among 20 shell corporations, among 9 Biden recipients. And the truth is that we just did it on our own. There was no influence peddling. There was no corruption. But by the way, I was never in business with Hunter or my brother, except they show him a contract and they said, here's your signature. He said, oh, I forgot. Maybe you forgot about the contract, but don't you dare try to pull the wool over America's eyes and tell us you forgot you were in business with people from whom you got money that went through shell corporations that you got, and then you gave money to your brother Joe Biden and called it repayment of a loan for which there was no payment schedule. I mean, the whole thing is so corrupt. To answer your original question, there is two systems of justice in this country, and we're fed up with it.
Well, you know, Judge, I got to tell you something. I thought Jonathan Turley wrote a great piece. It was in the New York Post today. One liar does not exonerate the family. Now, I'm pretty angry. This is now the second time. Christopher Steele was the first case. Now we have this informant working for the FBI since 2010. Well-trusted source, reliable source. We were told over and over again. And then all of a sudden, this guy ends up not being so trustworthy. Again, they actually used Christopher Steele's dirty dossier that Hillary paid for not one but 4 FISA applications. It was the bulk of information. Now you have this case here, but there's a very big difference. This was only one tiny piece of the case against what I call the Biden family and the Biden family syndicate. It's a much bigger purview that we are talking about here. It doesn't explain the Burisma firing. Why did Joe get the prosecutor fired? Why was Hunter paid for a job he had no experience in at a time he says he was addicted to drugs? What about the CEFC deal? What about the WhatsApp message? What about 10 Biden family members paid? What about up to 20 million so far identified? What about what James Comer calls shell corporations? It doesn't explain any of that or have anything to do with the vast, overwhelming 98% of this case.
And you know where your frustration is stemming from, Sean, and it's my frustration as well. First of all, your analysis is spot on. You've got this guy Smirnov, who was a respected confidential informant for 10 years by the FBI. They paid him money. He was so credible. Now, all of a sudden, a couple months ago, they decide, oh, he's not credible because he's involved in claiming that, you know, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden were engaged in a problem. But that's just one piece of the pie. There's so much other evidence. Whereas Christopher Steele created a lie to spy on a presidential candidate and a president. And no one has been taken to task for that. The judge involved hasn't called for heads in that. That's what's incredible about this whole thing. And in the end, people are not comfortable with the truth that, you know, people can get away with this, but if you or I did it, we would never get away with it. And that's the problem in this country right now. We are so fed up with this. And your analysis is spot on. And Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, you know, the frustration ultimately is you and I both know they're not going to be prosecuted because we do not have the Department of Justice. So the Democrats can say, end the investigation. Well, maybe there's no justice in the end because we can't get an indictment. That's the problem.
You know, these are sad times and dangerous times. If we don't have equal justice and equal application of our law, we're not the great constitutional republic we thought we were. And that should be alarming to every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, conservative, or liberal.
Scary.
Judge, continued success. The hit show, The Five. Thank you for always being available for us. We appreciate it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.